This is still the Polity, and we're reaching you live from the Abuja studios of Kaftan TV. Right now, I have Comrade Michael Isaac Onuh, a public affairs analyst, and with him, we're going to be analyzing some of the issues making the rounds. Today, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here once again.
Thank you for taking the time to be with us in the studio. Today, quite a lot has been happening in the nation. First of all, compliments of the season.
Yeah,
you're obviously dressed for the occasion also. And, you know, quite a lot has been happening, just like we've said earlier, from the president of the nation, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to various governors, senators, House of Reps, and leaders from all walks of life, all saying the same thing, all speaking from one direction. Calling on Nigerians to pray for Nigeria and imbibe the culture of unity, and also, you know, stick to the lessons of the Ramadan. But one would wonder, in order to achieve this, a lot has to do with the leadership of the country. Do you think that the government have done enough to put Nigerians in that place where they feel like, yes, they need to contribute their own ingenious quota to the overall development of the country?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to say a very big happy Salah, happy Eid al-Fitr to our Muslim friends. Brothers and sisters, and in general the whole Muslim faithfuls. Yeah, like you said earlier, the best time to pray for the nation, I think it's now, because the Muslim faithfuls just finished the Lenten period, Ramadan, and the Salah began yesterday, today, and probably tomorrow. So the best time for us to actually say pray, it's now. So for our leaders to call on Nigerians to pray this period for the nation and everything, I think is the right thing to do. However, like a wise man rightly said, that prayer without work is dead. Our leaders cannot be calling us to pray. It's like, it's supposed to be a complete package on a holistic thing. If we are praying, our leaders are supposed to do their part as well. That's what makes it complete. And that's what is going to make Nigeria get to where we want to. So calling for prayer, I think, is the right thing. However, like I said, our leaders, they need to do their own part too.
All right, now talking about our leaders doing their own part, we just needed to establish what is and what is not. Because, you know, a lot of Nigerians have been talking that it has become a recurring decimal. Every festive season, the leaders are always calling for peace, are always calling for prayers, are always calling. But then Nigerians are still where they are, or even worse. And also talking about the well-being of Nigerians, the big one that has been on the news for the past few days has been the decision of the federal government to hike the electricity tariff. And when Nigerians started speaking, the Minister of Power came out to say this is not affecting. It's not like it's affecting everybody. It's affecting just the band A users. And in the band A, we have people who are meant to be, you know, enjoying 20 hours, at least 20 hours of power supply. And Nigerians are asking, can we confidently point at any location in Nigeria at the moment that, you know, has enjoyed 20 hours of uninterrupted power supply for the past 6 months?
Yeah, thank you so much. First and foremost, I wanted to establish some facts first. And one of those facts I want to establish this afternoon is the current electricity tariff. I look at it as the government being very, very insensitive, and that decision is popular. In conclusion, I want to look at that decision as being reckless.
How do you mean being reckless?
Thank you so much. Not too long ago, the government just took off tariffs from subsidy from petroleum
products,
basic amenities. And power, the Minister of Power just came without preparation, without prior notice. He did the same thing. Now, according to what he said the decision is not going to affect everybody. He said just banned A users. But you and I know the truth. From that initial state, I think they made a mistake. It affected virtually everybody. But however, I think maybe because of the outcry and some other things, a lot of things, maybe household, were later moved back to maybe other bands, B, C, and D, as the case may be. And I have said this before on this platform and several other platforms. The president must call his aides to order. They must be very mindful of their words. You know, leadership and followership, once the trust is there, the people will believe you, every reforms you are bringing. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his part, he's doing his best. And we're million Nigerians, like a lot of us, we want him to succeed. But when careless statements are beginning to come from some of his presidential aides, like the Minister of Power recently, he just said the electricity tariff hike must continue. Because he has observed that Nigeria put on their ACs and deep freezer and they left the house. You don't tell people what to do
with their appliances.
And what the government did that I felt is still wrong, and a lot of experts have actually been looking at it, is they implemented the cost reflective method. And by so doing, it takes responsibility from the government. What they're supposed to be is supposed to be service reflective. Let us give us power, then charge us. But now you're not giving us power,
but you're still charging.
You are still charging Nigerians. Now you ask a question. You asked a question earlier that do we have anywhere in this country where people enjoy 20 hours of light daily? I stand to be corrected, except maybe the Aso Rock or something. Very rare. It's very, very rare. Even if you have those areas, probably maybe they're enjoying light, there are interruptions. Light goes off. And you can't guarantee that maybe in the whole week or in the whole month, there are seasons or periods where light will be epileptic. So that decision that the government has done, personally, I think, in my own opinion, it's not the right time. And the government must be sensitive to the plight of Nigerians. And I still want to call on the opposition. I still think they are doing a little. That's the truth. They should go mere releasing of statements, maybe by major opposition party. They should go do more and put this government on the edge. You just took off for a subsidy. Nigerians have not recovered. You brought another electric tariff. The truth is, World Bank and IMF, most of their policies, most countries that adopted their policies never ended it well. And I think Nigeria, we're actually heading towards that direction.
Because, of course, Nigerians are complaining also because it should be remembered that the talks of the removal of subsidy on electricity was first brought forward by the IMF. These are suggestions that were brought forward by the IMF. But then a lot of Nigerians are asking now that, okay, it's barely a year that subsidy was taken off PMS. Secondly, the issue of the minimum wage is still being, widely debated. Across the headlines this morning, the NLC are now saying that the initial terms that was agreed with the federal government, with the current situation of things, is no longer feasible again. Meaning we are probably about to go through another round of back and forth between the labor unions and the federal government. That one is on the side. Now the minister is saying that on this band A, that's for people who are supposed to be using 20 hours of power supply, they are going to experience about a 300% increase in tariff. Let's look at the people in the band A as people let's just assume they are in the business in the business sector, the banks, the manufacturing industry. What is left of the manufacturing industry? At the end of the day, Nigerians are saying the masses, the people in the band B, the band C, the band D will be the ones to still be the one to bear the brunt, because the cost of these things will be transferred back to them. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the whole? Because it feels like Nigerians are saying it feels like you are giving with the right hand and taking back with the left hand.
Yeah, basically, like I said, the timing of that particular decision, it's wrong. And that is where the government, they are supposed to be sensitive to the plight of Nigerians. Now you said band aid user, you categorize them. And let me tell you this truth now. If you carefully, let's look at maybe a particular geographic location. Say maybe let's use maybe in Abuja here, maybe let's use maybe Maitama, or maybe one or two of those highbrow areas. If you categorize them as band A, but whether you like it or not, middle and low income earners live around that vicinity. So are you going to force them or put them in the same band A? That decision is wrong. The president, I strongly believe that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a very listening president. I think the timing at the moment, it's outrightly wrong. And if you say, okay, manufacturers, the increase from 65 naira to is about 300% increase. Now the manufacturer will have to find a way to factor those costs
into their production.
And whether you like it or not, it affects the prices of goods. Currently, we are experiencing an unusual inflation. I agree. Maybe recently, I think the naira has been gaining some ground against the dollar, but it has not reflected in the price of goods and services in the market. They said, okay, they needed time. So if they needed time, Labour has been agitating for minimum wage review, which has been overdue. A lot of unions are agitating. Why the rush? Why don't you even hold on? There should be maybe an increase. Then maybe you can come with it gradually, phase by phase. Recently, I think I read an article in one of these major public dailies. Manufacturer Association of Nigeria said the agreement they had with the government is to increase it. Even they want to increase it, is gradually. It's supposed to be maybe around from 65 to 100 and something. Not from 65 by 300%.
By 300%.
So now they have actually breached that agreement. Now, why the rush? And the annoying thing, I kept saying these things, and I still want to repeat it here on air. Basically, all Nigeria need, give them lights and good road, you're going to see wonders in the country. But now,
and security.
Yes, and security. These basic things, fix it, you're going to see a lot of wonders in the country. Now, where you have a lot of people generating their power, and the alternative sources of power is not that cheap. Now you have increased this. The painful thing about this band A users is this new electric tariff increase is. Take for instance, they say for people that benefit 20 hours of light on a daily basis are categorized as band A. Now, assuming you recharge your NEPA card today, NEPA card to A, and maybe you are in band A, and maybe there's a collapse of the national grid or something. You know, you've recharged, they've given you the unit. Are they going to reverse those periods?
Those periods
that there were no lights, or what? So you can see the thing is still skewed, is not still proper. What the government need to do, I still look at the whole thing as they are window dressing the whole thing. The last time we had increase maybe in our megawatt was during Obasanjo. Obasanjo was able to do something, and right from that time till now, no Nigerian leader has been able to do something. And it is very, very bad and condemnable for you to keep shifting the cost to the Nigerians,
the citizens.
The citizens. It's not right. That is not why Nigerians voted for President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. And the truth is, I've always said this, that maybe if you're in the corridors of power, you might not see a lot of things. Northern Elder Forums came out yesterday. They are already threatening that come to some President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has failed them.
You know, part of their statement was that they regret, you know, casting their votes for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But then, on that note, let's talk about some opposition party politics. Right now, a lot of Nigerians are beginning to say that the Bola Tinubu-led administration is trying to turn Nigeria into a one-party state. And if we take a look at what is happening at the moment, it feels like APC are, you know, playing the ruling party, and on the other hand are still playing the opposition party. Because if we take a look at the PDP, just a few days ago, about some of their lawmakers threatened to quit the party if the current acting chairman, I'm talking about Damagum, does not step down from his position. Elsewhere, we look at the Labour Party, so many litigations here and there. And you know, let's look at the stakeholders meeting that held, you know, just 2 days ago, where there were calls for, you know, another national convention. This is coming. This is coming on after there was a national convention earlier in Anambra State by that saw the re-emergence of Julius Abure. What are your thoughts? Do you think that do you feel Nigeria we have an opposition capable enough to give the ruling party a run for their money, to put them at their toes, to make them understand that we have Nigerians who are, you know, waiting for you to deliver the dividends of democracy?
Yeah, you know, like I said earlier, the opposition in Nigeria currently, they are not doing much. The ruling party, APC, has given oppositions everything they need to demarket them. But they are not doing it.
But they are not.
Because if you carefully look at, things have moved from when APC took over till now. I won't say it has moved from good to better or best. You can as well pass the judgment. It's self-assessing, so decide on your own. Whatever you come out with, let it be like that. Let us not play politics.
Okay.
APC have a lot of some of their policies they've implemented. I think they are anti-people. All the opposition need to do at that moment is to leverage on those things and demarket them. But it's so unfortunate they are not doing it. I look at the major opposition party as unserious people.
So when you say you look at the major opposition party as unserious, are you talking about the PDP or the Labour Party?
Yeah, basically, if the major opposition party here, I think PDP, Labour. However, the most unserious party, sorry to use that word, I try as much as possible not to be partisan, is PDP. Why did I say so? These are some of my reasons. There are a lot of things in the PDP that needed to be resolved. They've not resolved it. Take, for instance, the current minister of the FCT, well-respected Nyesom Wike, is neither here nor there. What stops you from suspending him and move ahead? It doesn't matter what he has.
But then, don't you think suspending Wike at this suspending Wike would be at the detriment of the party in general? Because we've heard Wike so many times. He has dared the leadership of the PDP that if you are capable enough, then suspend me and let's see, and let's set the ball rolling.
You know what? That's why I said they look like as if they are serious. Any decision you take now, you still have 3 years before the election. You can recover. But they kept prolonging this issue. When the election comes close, you dare not take that decision. If you take that decision, you're going to lose the election. But anything you take now, any decision you take now, anybody you need to ask out of the party, if you ask him, you already know your stance. You know this person is no longer with you. Not that maybe the person is here,
not
there. You and I know. If this trend continues, next cycle of election, the minister of FCT will campaign and support APC. That's the truth. The PDP must decide. And kudos must, however, be given to Nyesom Wike. I don't know how he's doing it, but I think he has a lot of capacity. Whatever it matter, whatever that needed to be done, he does it, and you can see he kept remaining relevant. But however, it's not good for the opposition. The PDP, as a matter of urgency, must take a decision. You can't be lukewarm. You must definitely take a decision. It's either he's with you or he's not with you. But you and I know it. The Honorable Minister of FCT is not with the PDP. You and I know it. He's in the APC. And come 2027, there's tendency that he's going to work fully for APC.
But he's still carrying the card of the PDP.
You know what PDP are failing to understand is we should give it to the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the father of the nation. He's a master strategist. All he needed to do, and he has done it, is to make sure he weaken the grip of the opposition. And you and I know, to win or maybe get any meaningful results in any election cycle in Nigeria, I think Rivers State is part of it. He has succeeded to get the strong man of Rivers to his side. Whether you like it or not, if election is conducted today, APC are going to get something out of it. And for the Labour Party, kudos should be given to, I think, the presidential candidate of in the last election.
Talking about Peter Obi. But then a lot of Nigerians will say that, looking at the internal wranglings within the ranks of the Labour Party, that Mr. Peter Obi himself, he has not handled the situation the way someone who is seen as the leader of the party should. Because here we have should we say the factional leader of the party, Julius Abure, with so many litigation cases against him. We have so many cases of forgery. Elsewhere, we have so much internal wranglings within the party that recently the NLC are now even beginning to lay claims of ownership of the Labour Party. And on the front page of one of our national dailies here, the Labour Party have replied the NLC that the NLC do not have the power to remove Abure. This is coming after the stakeholders meeting that recommendations of a wider consultations should to be made in light of a more expansive national convention. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, thank you. Let me just digress a little or go back a little. The major reason why I said thumb up to the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, if you carefully look at all through this Ramadan period, he has visited a lot of places, particularly the north.
The north.
He commissioned a lot of projects, water projects in Bauchi, a lot of places. Was in Nasarawa, He toured around. All he's trying to do is trying to mend fences. Let me try and work on my weakness and see how maybe we're going to leverage on that, maybe if there's another election cycle. That's why I say thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
But however, he has not done well in managing the affairs of the party. As a father figure, leader, national leader of the party, what Peter Obi is supposed to have done, in my opinion, he has not done it.
And what do you think Mr. Peter Obi should have done?
I've said it before that the current chairman, Julius Abure, is going to come out on the previous challenges he had, troubles, and he came out. Do you know why? Because from reliable sources of information at our disposal, we discovered he's enjoying or having the backing of the major stakeholders of Labour Party. But however, for the first time, there's a massive crack. Even him, his seat currently is under threat. I doubt if he's going to survive it this time around. Why? The opposition are getting stiffer and stiffer daily. And what?
Opposition from within the party?
Within the party, yes. internal party affairs, is worst. A wise man rightly said, the insect that destroyed the vegetable does not live outside. It lives inside the vegetable. Now, what the national presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the last election, Peter Obi, was supposed to have done is, warring factions is supposed to call them. Do you know what impact it would have made, assuming when the national youth leader Anselm left the party? If Peter Obi visited him.
Anselm didn't leave the party.
There were issues.
He had issues with the Julius Abure faction of the party, because Anselm was part of the Lamidi Apapa faction
of course
of the party.
Something led to that aspect, before those scenarios. Okay, let's narrow it down this way. Do you know what impact it would have made if the national leader Peter Obi maybe visited Lamidi Apapa then? All this issue wouldn't have warranted, because whether you like it or not, they have their own followers.
But do you think it would have had an impact on the presidential, at the tribunal, if Peter Obi was able to mend fences with?
No, the issue of the tribunal is a completely different thing. No, it's a completely different thing.
Okay.
If you look at President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, he's not just called the master of politics by mere words. You can see by action.
Okay.
Go and look at one of the most vocal spokesperson of Atiku Abubakar in the last election, Daniel Buhala. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has wooed him. He's currently working for the APC. How was he able to do it? He brought him to the Aso Rock. Do you know what that meant? That is what we are saying. Everything that you needed to be done, go ahead and do it. However, like I just mentioned in the issue of PDP, anybody in the Labour Party need to ask. They should ask at this moment. They still have time to maybe manage any situation that will come between now and the next 3 years. I think it's still far.
Okay.
But if they leave it when it gets closer to the election, if it gets closer to the election, it's going to be an issue. And for the Julius Abure, I think he has relatively done well for Labour Party. Because whether you like it or not, the gains that Labour Party enjoying, it is during his reign. So credit must be given to him. But however, like I kept saying,
you think he has overstayed his welcome?
There are little loose ends. If the spokesperson of official Peter Obi, Tanko, came out and said they've advised that Peter Obi advised Julius Abure for the convention to be an all-inclusive thing, but he didn't do it. He now went and did what he did. You can see there's a problem.
There's a problem.
All through this while, Peter Obi and Julius Abure, they are like 5 and 6. But it's so unfortunate, there's a crack. There's a crack. NLC came out and said Abure is no longer their chairman.
Their chairman.
Labour Party came out and released their own statement that Labour Party does not have, Labour Union, NLC does not have the capacity or ability to remove him. But however, whether you like it or not, these are too many things. They are getting too much. The opposition are getting much. They are getting stiffer. So Julius Abure should sit up, manage the situation if you can manage it. If you can't manage it for national interest, but I still believe so much in his capacity. I don't know why. Because I like working with facts. If you look at the last election, Labour Party did extremely well. Nobody gave them chance. And he was the leader. So based on those facts and figures, we can say, okay, we can just infer or draw conclusion that he did well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and for your very much insightful analysis. We really do appreciate you for taking our time to be with us in the studio today, and hope to see you again some other time. Viewers at home, this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of the program. Do well to join us again, same time, same station tomorrow. My name is Francis Adeniyi. Bye.